Alright, I brought you all here today for one very important reason. I've been thinking about the diamonds, and I know what you're saying. What, you think about getting a ring? You getting married? Oh, you're gonna get a gold chain? You're gonna get a diamond chain? Listen here, you fucker. You saw the thumbnail. You know damn well what I'm talking about. Okay, so cut the shit. Alright, I'm not having it. But in case you don't know, when I say the diamonds, I'm referring to a show called Steven Universe. And in the show, the diamonds are sort of the elite of an alien species. Now, this alien species are referred to as gems because they are in fact rocks. Now, they do have humanoid shapes made out of a physical manifestation of light, whatever that means. It's a cartoon. But to describe them, they don't need to eat, they don't need to sleep, they don't need to drink, they don't age, and they don't need to breathe. So for all intents and purposes, these gems, these aliens, are functionally immortal. And what always fascinated me the most is the show Steven Universe takes place after the death of Pink Diamond. And remember, the diamonds are the four cream of the crop. They're the elite on the totem pole of a society of immortals. So it's kind of a big deal in a cartoon. Anyways, I'm not here to explain the ethics of the diamonds to you. Trust me, everyone and their mom has made a YouTube video about how evil the diamonds are because they're racist, fascists, authoritarian regime, genocidal maniacs, whatever. It's a cartoon. They're pictures. What I'm more interested in is the secret lore behind the diamonds. See, they are treated as the big bad, and they're not. Their whole history isn't probably explained. They don't have a backstory, which always drove me crazy because, I feel like villains usually have backstories, right? But let's move on to the history of the diamonds. So, I believe, this is my personal belief, I don't have any evidence for it, but I believe that the diamonds came out in power order, right? And their sort of size and the order in which they came out of sort of set the power ranking in stone, so to speak. Again, that order is white diamond, gold diamond, blue diamond, pink. And given what we've seen in the show, we know that they didn't pop out Homeworld, pop out the stone with technological advancement. We just know, because Earth Pearl had no clue about modern Homeworld technology, stuff Peridot knew. So technology and knowledge is not innate within the gem species. With that in mind, we look at how the diamonds were harvesting Earth to make more gems. They had these really interesting injectors that I've always been fascinated with personally. But I digress. They didn't have the technology to make the injectors. So how did they make the gems? See, I think we've got a classic Princess Bubblegum and the Mother Gum situation on our hands here. I think the four diamonds had to make new gems the old-fashioned way. And what is the old-fashioned way, you might say? Well, in the show, closer to the end of Steven Universe, we encounter the pebbles. And the pebbles are exactly what they sound like. They aren't gems. They're pebbles. So I imagine Homeworld, the place where the diamonds originated from, had water, a common factor for life. And they took a bath in it. They all jumped in, right? And we've seen in the show multiple times how the mixture of their bath water has miraculous effects on the environment and gems. So I think that's how the pebbles were created. Is they all jumped in a lake, effectually turning the lake into bath water, and thus accidentally giving life to the pebbles. See, now in the show, we know that, like as I briefly touched upon earlier, the diamonds are genocidal fascists ruling to take over the world. But no one's ever, to my knowledge, discussed whether that was nature or nurture. Whether Mother Nature nurtured these diamonds into the monsters they were at the end of Steven Universe. I'd argue it was nurture. I don't think they popped out the rock wanting to kill everything. I think Homeworld had a fascinating biodiversity that Rebecca Sugar has never touched on, and it really bugs me. Or maybe I'm just not a super fan. I haven't done enough sleuthing, right? I haven't done any research for this fucking video. This is all just off the dome, what I've pondered. Every year I sort of have this like compulsive, obsessive desire to study the diamonds. And that's kind of the premise for today's video. I'm hoping I could get all of it together in one place and then just spew it at the camera, edit, maybe throw in some clips, and call it a day. Be over it, never come back to it again. But I think, like just any other planet, like Earth, for example, there was predators, and there was a food circle, life cycle, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about. And I think they realized they could bring pebbles to life, and then they figured out they could bring gems to life. And I think that was monumental in their war against their natural predators of Homeworld. So they created society in a way that, emphasized that strength is good because that's what they needed. And then when they finally conquered Homeworld, what do they have? A society of gems that are so hungry to prove themselves in combat that civil war was close to breaking out. That's what I imagine. Because any gem would pop out fresh and think the diamonds ain't shit. Who are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me to do? I'm strong. I can fight them. And I think that became a real issue. So they targeted the populace of gems bred for combat into the cosmos. And I think and I think that's quite simply, that's how their conquest of the cosmos started. Because some gems needed an outlet. And, as a leader, that's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. And with a culture of control and conquer, you can't just backtrack from something like that and expect to remain in power. So the genocide commenced. And that leads us right into the death of a god. I think when Pink Diamond died, was shattered, as I mentioned earlier, the biggest weakness of gem-based creatures. When Pink Diamond died, I think that's when the genocide stopped for a few reasons. Number one, the diamonds needed time to breathe. They had just lost one of their own. Going on couldn't have been easy, as we could tell by Blue Diamond's tears, White Diamond's disassociation, and Yellow Diamond's excessive need to move on, to distract themselves. I think the second reason that the genocide stopped is that the gems realized they could kill a god. See, rumor has it an average Rose Quartz soldier was the one who killed Pink Diamond. So naturally, I believe from that point forward, riots and a civil war began to break out because the whole power structure just changed in an instant, right? But without Pink Diamond, they no longer had the perfect blend of bathwater the perfect blend of bathwater needed to create more gems. So, as a solution, rather than killing the dissenters or shattering the revolters, that's when they developed. Where was I? So, right. Onto the second reason the genocidal conquest suddenly came to an end. A temporary halt. Rebellions broke out within the Gem Empire. And in a desperate attempt to quell these rebellions, the Diamonds started doing something I like to call Gem-K Ultra. Get it? Like MK Ultra, but with gems. It's stupid, I know. But fuck, I cracked myself up. So, with Gem-K Ultra came countless gem experience, many of which we have no clue of. Right? This is where the cluster came from. This is also where I believe the mind-wiping technology that Spinel used came from. See, what use would the Diamonds have to blank slate insubordinate gems if not for the fact that without Pink Diamond, they couldn't get more bathwater, which means they couldn't make more gems. You see where I'm going? With the mind-wiping device Spinel used, it made it so easy to retain the same number of gems while also retaining a higher level of subordination and obedience. That's why the only rebellion left is on planet Earth, excluding, the home world underground scene. Pardon me, there's so much dust in the fucking air in this attic. I can't breathe through my nose anymore. I have really bad allergies. But now that we're on to the gem experiments, this is as far as the secret diamond history and lore goes. I mean, they designed the cluster. They did the whole fucking shooty ray thing that hit planet Earth. I don't remember. I haven't watched the show in years. I think their plan was to wipe out all the gems on the planet, but it just ended up corrupting all of them. Sorry, speaking of the injectors, I think what's inside of that crystal at the top of it is, in fact, a mixture of their bathwater. As crazy as that sounds, I think that is the chemical X to making sentient gems. See, because Steven can heal things like plant life, biomass, but with his crystal juice, with his gem juice, trademarked, with his gem juice, but it takes all four of them to produce sentient life, which is why the injectors were so necessary, and why, as they mentioned, they used to have frequent baths together. And the first collection of bathwater produced the pebbles, right? And to prevent whatever basin is holding their, their bathwater together from becoming sentient, I have reason to believe that they made the bath itself a sentient gem. Right. Now, this is the most horrifying part of the show that I have never seen anyone touch on before. We see in the show that the walls of the palace are sentient gems. They have eyes, ears, mouths, and ideas, and they see and hear everything. And no one ever talks about it. See, I've always been really fascinated. What if they fused? What if a bunch of these walls fused together? Would they make like a Great Wall of China, or would they make a fucking house? Ooh. Dr. House jump scare. I love my nose. Give me a second. But back to the topic at hand. Any vessel that was designed to hold this bathwater of ultra sentience would already have to be a living gem. Which begs the question. Which begs the question. Is that my diamond? Which begs the question: is the gem on the injector also a sentient gem, but similar to how lapis was infused into the mirror? I don't know. Rebecca Sugar, answer me. I don't know. Low nose. I don't know. Clearly, I have a lot of unanswered questions regarding the diamonds. I was hoping that this would be some sort of cathartic canon event, so to speak, that would let me finally move on from my periodic obsession with the diamonds and what we don't know about them, but what we can infer through the little breadcrumbs Rebecca Sugar has left us. But I still have so many questions. So many questions. I would love to sit down with her and just have lunch or just a coffee. Oh, shit. Excuse me. And there's truly no telling what other horrors that the GemK Ultra experiments might have brought to fruition, but what I do know is this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. This is my first attempt at a real video essay, and I'm so glad to finally get it done. This is the third attempt. That's right, the third attempt I've made at this video alone. So it's a huge time sink, and I haven't even started editing yet. Right? I had to buy the lights. I had to set up the fucking props. Look at this shit. I got Danny DeVito. I got all my paintings up here. We balanced? We good? Okay. Thank you so much for watching to the end. It might be a while until I make another video. I'm thinking for my next one, Come on, focus. Get together. I think for my next video, I'm going to make another video essay called, I don't know, I haven't figured out the name yet, but I've been thinking about a lot about where I rank in the Catholic power system, in the power ranking, like in terms of angels and demons, where I rank. And to be honest, it's not looking good. And I don't personally believe in God, so a lot of what I say in that video is likely to be blasphemous. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I do think I stand somewhat of a chance against some demons and maybe even some angels, but we'll get into that. That's a different video for a different time. Once again, thank you. I do it for you, specifically you, the one who got to the end of this video. There's several points in this video where I got bored and thought, hey, I might as well go play some Mahjong. But you're the reason I saw it through. You're the reason I gave it 3 different attempts. I mean, you and insert name here, who made a spectacular video about Steven Universe and the allegory of God 2 weeks, well, I mean, 2 weeks before I published this video. And I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I gotta up my game. I can't compete. So, that's been a huge pain in the ass. But here we are. Alrighty. I really gotta bounce. I wish you the best. And I can't think of anything else. Goodbye.